Bah, it's me, Rockbiter. My mouth is agape. My mouth is hanging open because these look like big, strong, and good teeth, don't they? I've got some big. As a Rockbiter, my teeth are made of pure calcium. Pure calcium, and I'll tell you this much. No, my mouth. Listen, I'm just gonna hang my mouth open. I can throw my voice. And you can look inside my mouth. I've got about 2 teeth made of pure calcium. Now, guys, remember to brush your tooth. Remember to floss the teeth you want to keep. Wesley Plotkey is a metaphorical, sedimentary, or igneous rock. Metaphorical? A metaphorical rock. Metamorphic rock. Or ingenious rock. Oh, sorry, igneous rock. I'm an ignorant rock, it turns out. I'm a metaphorical ignorant rock. Welcome to the Aristotle Full Throttle Show.
Hey, Wesley. Whoa. The rock biter. He said he was an ignorant rock. Guess what? Today, we have a very special guest. None other than JennTheFierce. So I will play, since Jen technically was here first, I'll play her intro. Here it is. There it was. Here it is.
Jen. Jen. Jen.
Jen. Also, Wesley, welcome to the show.
Corn Pop was bad dude.
And what's up, Ishmael? Welcome to the show.
Ishmael.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a belly of tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down below my belly boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tongue is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm excited to talk to Jen. Jen is a long time. You're the behind the scenes of the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. Would that be accurate? You're like the gears, the inner workings. Jen sees. She makes trivia. Jen makes the trivia every Thursday. We missed trivia last Thursday because I was getting ready to go on a trip. I went out of town. I went to Oregon, and it was the coast of Oregon. And let me tell you something. It's beautiful. You ever been to Oregon, Jen?
No. But I've been to. There's a Portland there, right? I grew up in Portland, Maine.
That's close enough.
So I've basically been to Portland already. So been there.
You never know how many Portlands there are.
Yeah. Because
there
are there more than 2?
I feel like there's more Portlands because there's a port, like port cities. Just want to name themselves Port. Like Port Jefferson and Port Washington, Long Island. Wesley knows about that. Straight into the Sea of Thieves. Ooh. What is the Sea of Thieves, Wesley? I don't know what that means.
It's a video. As we talked about last week or last time that I was here. It was like
the
video
yeah.
game where you could be a pirate. Yeah, it looks a lot like the intro for Ishmael.
Oh, cool. That's pretty cool because I do like pirates. Also, let me ask you this, Wesley. Have you done any devious licks lately? I hope not. Well, I want to play that game actually. Let's play that game sometime. Is it? Can you murder? Can you swash? Can you buckle? What are we doing?
You can drink. You can shoot yourself out of a cannon. You can shoot your friends out of a cannon.
I'm always shot out of a cannon, so I know what that's like. I got this coffee right here. Answer me this: what is a swash or what is a buckle? A swash reminds me of like mouthwash.
A buckle.
Well, I know what a
buckle.
Okay, that much I know. Also,
okay.
What's swashbuckling? Do you wash in your belt?
Wash your buckle. Yeah, you wash the deck with your buckle. That's what I thought it was.
Swashbuckling. Go out there and swashbuckle. Walk the plank, swash the buckle. They say. I think that's what pirates generally call each other.
That is what they say. Also, it is a Steam game, so you could play it if you want to. It's not
could play
console, it's Steam.
You know what I'm going to do from now on? I'm going to play everything and record all of our interviews on my laptop and just patch in the video. Because my computer can't handle all of the things. So I'll just patch in the video and the audio.
Did you have... What day was that? Did that happen? Did you have other streams? When did you go on your trip? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That was a week ago today, I think. I went on my trip. I went up there like 1 a.m. on Friday. I started driving. 1 or 2 in the morning, I started driving because it's a long drive and I got a new car. So I said, you know what's cool about this new car? It kind of drives itself. I slept half the way. That's not true. What I did was it's got like driving assist and it's got lane assist. So it like will follow the curves of the road, and it'll also the cruise control will be adaptive to whatever the traffic is. It'll slow the car down and speed it up depending on traffic. So I just had one hand on the wheel half the time, and it just drove itself mostly. So I was pretty impressed with that. We're in the future when it comes to cars. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. You guys had got snow. Did you get the snow, Jen?
Yeah, we got buried alive. It was fun.
You got nor'easter. Did you go skiing? Did you go sledding?
No, gross. No, it's cold out there. It's been like 8 degrees. It's real cold.
I know that Wesley's father wants to move to where does he want to move? Vermont, Maine. He wants to move to where it gets even colder.
Even more colder? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he said, but his reasoning is we'll stay inside and put the heat on.
Okay, sure, fair enough.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Am I right? I'm Uncle Ron.
Here it is, my most likable song ever.
You know that when I first saw his name in chat,
Coca-Cola, lipstick ring, go dance all night, dance all night. Kiss me, just kiss me, Nefertiti. Lipstick, kiss me, lipstick ringo, that's the way you like it.
This is your most likable song ever?
Yeah.
People will love it.
That's true. He does want to retire to Maine because he does. I know that your father does have a hankering for lobsters. So, Jen, what were you saying? You said the first time you saw the name?
Oh, Uncle Ron. I thought it said Immune Claron.
Immune Claron.
I was like, Immune Claron, welcome. I've never seen you before.
Oh my goodness. I'm Uncle Ron. Do you have a question for me or JennTheFierce? What's up?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you shoveled yourself out yet?
Me? I'm always shoveling myself deep. Oh yeah.
I don't have to shovel myself out. That's what I have my husband for. So he did it. Also, we have a snowmobile.
Okay, well, did you force your betrothed to shovel you out yet?
Of course. Yeah, we've been out for days.
They've been out for days. That snowblower is key. My brother just got one. It's battery charged, he says. Ooh. So it doesn't have to use gas, which is good.
Lawnmower and all of our summer stuff is electric. We just haven't. This was a gift from somebody, so we haven't upgraded this one. But it's fun because you can make labyrinths in the snow when it's this deep. You take the snowblower and make a little trail. It's great.
That's really cool.
It's fun for the dog. Good luck, dog. See when you find your way out.
He gets lost. He just hangs out with the squirrels. Yes, was David Bowie there? That is a good question. You know what I would do? I would build upside down stairs with the snow.
I would call Jennifer Connelly.
Like the labyrinth, yeah. I love Jennifer Connelly. She's awesome.
She's great. You know they're coming out with another one. They're remaking it or something. The labyrinth, which is interesting because I think it. Don't you think Jennifer Connelly should be in the labyrinth? Maybe she should play the Goblin Queen.
Well, she's the the mom, and then I think there's a girl that looks like her as a kid, like Lily something. Should be her daughter. That'll be good. I'll approve of that.
Yeah,
I think they're just waiting on your approval.
Yep, they were waiting on me, and I approved. So
that's fair enough. I mean, who wouldn't?
I have a question for you too, Aristotle.
What is that? Shoot, fire away.
Will we be watching the Book of Mandalorian tomorrow?
We will be watching The Mandalorian featuring Boba Fett tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Last week's episode was
exactly what it is.
fantastic. Jen, did you see last week's episode? Are you caught
No,
up?
I haven't watched any of the Boba Fett. Nope.
Okay. Well, if you catch up by tomorrow, we're gonna. I think it's the last episode tomorrow of the season.
There's two
Oh,
more,
there's two more?
including tomorrow's. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but it's basically The Mandalorian now, which is.
Okay, well that's good. Are they
Which was-
still in the
Yeah,
desert? I
essentially.
remember we talked about a lot of sand.
Oh man. I tell you. Well, that last episode we had a little bit of space travel because it was The Mandalorian. It was an episode of The Mandalorian with
It really was.
Fennec with Fennec Shand at the very end. Sorry.
Oh, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's post Grogu leaving, right?
Yeah, I see exactly. It's like, what are we gonna do without Grogu?
Nothing. What can you do without Grogu?
Nothing. Let's ask Grogu himself. Grogu says he squeals at the idea.
I agree.
Grogu. See, I never leave without my Grogu. Mandalorian left
Never
his
leave home
Grogu.
without it.
No, I'd carry my Grogu around in a backpack. I'll do backflips and stuff with
Your
Grogu
little
training
car
me.
seat. Car.
He's got a tiny little car seat.
Grogu.
The car seat is a shoebox. So I just put him in a shoebox, and I tape the shoebox
on.
to the roof.
Isn't that what is that what he had made out of that Beskar spear?
He must
A,
have.
a Grogu's car seat?
You know, Grogu does. You know, it's really fascinating. Did anybody ever notice this? I'm glad that we brought this up. He's not safely strapped into that spaceship in the first and second seasons of The Mandalorian. He is. Is he even in his little thing? Like, how does he? Is he strapped? Does he have a seatbelt? Took my only real midterm last week, and I've actually finished my work before 9 every day this week. Feeling good, Wesley. That is quite the achievement. You got to work hard, and I'm glad that you're getting your work done in a timely fashion before 9. How long did it take you to do your homework, Jen?
Oh, I did never do my homework. I was a terrible student. I
You were-
never had my homework done.
Ron, did you tell us about your homework?
My homework would be done either the minute I got home, so I could just sit around and stare at the wall and wait for people to call me.
Yeah.
Or I would stay up and watch inappropriate television and then get it done right before I had to go into class.
See, similarly, I would do my homework at lunch. Maybe there was a study hall. I tried not to have any homework when I got home because I just wanted to watch Bob Ross and fall asleep. So that's what I would do. But then I would wake up at around dinner time, stuff my face, and play the guitar until 2 a.m. for about 2 years. I did that. But I came straight home. I laid on the couch and I watched Bob Ross paint happy little trees. That's what inspired me to grow this fro.
And the beard.
And the beard. I'm basically Bob Ross. Welcome to the show.
And we also don't know if you're wearing any. We also don't know if you're wearing bell bottoms or not.
I'm always wearing bell bottoms in my heart. Welcome to the show. This is the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle. 5 days a week we do this usually, but I was away for a couple days for about, I guess I missed 3 shows this week. But you can also download this show as a podcast on Spotify, and I'm up to 87 cents, guys.
Nice.
Last time I checked with my Spotify spins. I'm excited. I can almost buy, I don't know what you can buy with $1 anymore. What can you buy with $1?
Nothing at the dollar store. They increased it to $1.25.
I know that's a lie. The dollar store has been a lie.
So how can I go in there and buy 4 items, and then when they say it's $4.20 and I giggle? How am I supposed to do that now?
Yeah, you can see you run out of the joys of life, the small joys of life like that. Oh, I had a good time. I was like on a lake in a house. It was nice, and there was trees. It was bucolic. It was beautiful. in Oregon. If you ever get the chance to go to the coast of Oregon, do it. I highly suggest it. It felt like I was on another planet because I was coming home on the 101, which is the coastal drive. And, there's these giant rocks. It felt like Octu. I felt like I was on Octu.
Bless you.
Thank you. It was pretty cool.
All right, I gotta head out. I'll be back in the chat in a little bit, though. I just got done recording, so I have to go switch computers.
The Force will be with you, always.
Well, thank you, Ron.
Be.
Thank you, Ron, for being here.
No problem.
My 2 classes with paper homework every night before lunch, and my other class with homework is always due virtually by 7 a.m. Well, I'll tell you what. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard every day. And if you work hard every day, you do little by little, Wesley, you'll learn a lot over time. But Rome was not built in a day, but it might have been burned down in one.
Live from LA, it's AFT. Starring Is This Will, K-Grid, Eonolita, OCW 5000, 420 Artists, Raccoon Raiders, and now introducing Studio 8H.
Welcome, Studio 8H. I love that you're Mr. Bill at the end. I'm sorry. I just used to enjoy Mr. Bill getting squashed when I was a kid. I didn't know from Saturday Night Live. But also, always good to hear from Uncle Ron. I'm Uncle Ron. Thanks for stepping in and chatting with us. JennTheFierce, when you were a kid, did you ever watch Saturday Night Live?
When I was a kid, or when I was like a teenager? I watched it when I was a teenager. Not
See,
as a child.
I watched it as a child. When I was a little baby child, my first memories was like Mr. Bill, he was just made of clay, right? And then he would get squashed and smashed. And I felt it was like a little bit disturbing, but it was really funny at the same time. Because he was like this little guy, and he'd be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm over here. I'm by the refrigerator, I want to get some." And he'd be like, "Oh no." And then like a big hand would come in and smash him. And I just thought it was the greatest thing.
Nice.
And that's what I watched it for, the claymation. Am I on the correct channel? No lag. I have been here for 3 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what, Studio 8H, I've been cleaning out this computer. I've been gutting it. I've been in there, ripping things out, putting things back in, shaking it around, pouring water on it, lighting it aflame. I did everything. Hopefully it's starting to work. But I was this close to buying a new computer in Oregon. You know why? Because there's no sales tax.
Oh,
but
nice.
there's also no Apple stores unless you're in Portland. So there was an Apple store, but it was like 4 hours north of me, and I would have had to drive back again. So I could have gone to an Apple retailer, but I don't think they have as many customizations when you go to like Best Buy or whatever.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think this year I'll get a new computer. Someone just told me last night, Evan Ball. Do you guys remember Evan Ball?
Yes, of course, yeah.
He's gonna be a guest soon. He texted me last night when I was driving home. He said, "I just saw you at a UPS commercial." I was like, "Hey, me?" So I said, and he was just catching up a little bit real quick, and he was saying that he's just he's trying to look for his next show to be on. So we're going to talk to him soon. We're going to talk to him about being a writer for television and film. And he's always a good time. He's an interesting cat. And we're going to talk to him pretty soon, guys. Evan Ball. He'll be here on the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. Maybe by Friday, I think. I don't know. Sometimes I want to do Talkie Tuesdays with a guest. And that's what we're doing with JennTheFierce today here on Aristotle Full
Talkie Thursdays, or...
Yeah, we could do... fraternizing Fridays.
There you go. I have a question for you. Are you gonna put the Mac you're gonna get this year? Are you gonna put it next to the TV that you haven't gotten yet?
I'm gonna put it on the wall with where the TV belongs.
Are you gonna get yourself a TV, or have you given up on that for now?
Well, here's the thing. I have a little Galaxy Pad that's this big and an arm, like a
So there you
bendable,
go.
a gooseneck, and I put it next to my bed, and I put it like right over my face. So I'm laying in bed, and it's like I've got a giant TV, even though it's an 8-inch screen. It's very
like
practical.
IMAX.
It's like
mini
IMAX. Yeah, I put my head inside the tablet. But, you know, I do want a TV. I do want a TV. It depends on how many jobs I get. I know I keep saying that, but it keeps going down further and further down the priorities list. If I still had a car, I do have a car now, which I'm very excited now. Yeah, but I didn't have a car that I had paid off. Like I owned my car outright for a year, and then it got rear-ended and totaled. But now I've got a new car, and I've got new car payments. So guys, remember, you could always subscribe on Twitch for just a few dollars a month. And also, let me just move this camera a little bit this way. Also, you can pledge on Patreon, like $1 a month, hang out on the Discord. You could do all of these things. It's all kosher, it's all good. It's all halal, I guess. You know, kosher food is just blessed by a rabbi. That's what I learned.
Really?
It's just that's all it has to be. Blessed by, and also you can't like mix like meat and cheese or something like that.
Clean, yeah. It has to be like clean.
So yeah, there's certain like combinations. If anybody knows how, I don't want to be ignorant here. If anybody knows what the definition of kosher is or halal foods, I think it has something to do with like religious preparation. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Well, if you guys out there know, let me know.
Meat and milk not combined.
Okay, so meat and milk not combined. Now, does it have to be blessed by a rabbi?
It says kosher meat is the animals that are properly slaughtered.
Properly slaughtered. Interesting. The proper slaughtering of a... You know what I saw the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of slaughtering pigs and animals?
I'm scared now, but sure, what?
I saw, and this was the cutest thing ever, guys. Picture this. I saw a little, he must have been like a Boston Terrier, like Chihuahua mix or something like that. Little tiny dog, right? On a leash connected to a pot-belly pig. So there was like a little tiny pot-belly pig, the same size as this little tiny dog, and they were connected to each other on a leash. And the dog was kind of leading the way, and the pig was just going wherever the dog went. And they were brothers. They were best friends. They both had little sweaters on. They were cute. It was the cutest thing. But then I was thinking to myself this. You know, there are places in this world, is this true, that people will eat dogs, right? And in the United States, we eat pigs. And I was watching them both on a leash getting along like friends. And it's just it's just weird to me. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't partake in
All of it's weird to you.
It's all very weird to me. So I'm like, what's the difference? Look how cute they are. They're best friends. It was just one of those moments where I was like, oh man. Sorry, that's my bleeding heart for the animals. I love the animals.
I was gonna say, pig is my favorite food. I love everything pig.
Well, this is the
cute too. They're cute when they're alive, but they also are delicious when they're not.
But the thing is, people here are appalled by the idea that people eat dogs. We're like, how could you do that? Yet this person had the 2 pets and they were friends. But you don't have to take my word for it. What's up?
They need to be more educated because I have my sister-in-law lives in Africa, so I'm used to that idea that even though we keep dogs as pets, when they come here, like my nephews are like terrified of the dogs that we have for pets. They're like, why do you have a dog in your house?
Wow.
That's dinner. What are you doing? You know?
Interesting. Well, you know, I would just rather cuddle them. That's all. It's because here dogs are more pets than pigs. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. It is just but I guess the thing is for me, it's all the same. It's like, well, it's a pig, it's a dog, it's, you know, what's the difference? But people would
eat them all.
People would contend one's worse than the other, but really isn't. Just saying.
Is there a shovel?
Impressive. Most impressive.
Listen, bacon cheeseburger is probably the most unkosher thing you could eat, but you know, I remember learning about a bacon cheeseburger when I was a kid, and it was very wonderful discovery. I liked the taste of it. People ask me, you know, but I'll say I'm a vegetarian, but like I love the taste of meat though. Me too. I love it. I just don't eat it. Right, Ange?
Say, baby, I can destroy everything, but I'm not. What? But I can. Baby, shut up and give us your money.
Ange says, "Shut up and give us your money." That's a quote. That's a direct quote from Ange. I think she's quoting Zack Snyder, probably. Welcome, Ange. I know that you always get a little face palm and an eek face for your intro, but we all love it. Because you know why, Ange?
I can destroy everything, but I'm not. But I can.
And today we're talking with none other than JennTheFierce.
I want to see the butthole cut. Give us the butthole.
So
You need to hack
welcome.
your computer.
Well, good luck. Good luck getting inside my computer. You'll probably do one of them ransom things. I've
could
got all
just,
of their.
Yeah, I could easily make it crash. Just
Oh, I know, probably.
send you too many like pop-up links or something.
Yeah, you could easily make this computer crash with just by looking at it the wrong way. It'll melt. It's really finicky. It's really sensitive. I think it's emotional. I think my computer has an emotional dysregulation situation. Sometimes it gets overwhelmed, and we just have to talk to it nicely. I have to say, "Hey, Jerry." My computer's name is Jerry. "Hey, Jerry, come on. I got a bacon cheeseburger waiting for you." "Hey, Jen," says Ange.
Hey, Ange. And she says she hates your voice. I love hearing your voice, Ange. Always.
We all love hearing your voice, Ange. That's
Especially
what
the funny things you have to say. So funny.
What?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
What? What?
What?
What?
What? What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
There, I got it. I got you to say it in unison with Darth Vader. Because, the two of you together.
I can destroy everything, but I'm not. But I can.
Sorry to overplay the sound. If it's really upsetting you, I'm sorry, but we love the sound of your voice. Today's agenda was very thought out. We sat there and toiled over the minutes and the beats of today's show, and now we're coming upon 6:30, and that's when we're talking about what? Jen, remember what we talked about? Discussed?
Rihanna. Rihanna had a baby, and I said, I didn't know anything about that. But we can talk about it.
She's gonna have a baby, probably, most likely. I hope. She's pregnant. Rihanna is pregnant. Rihanna. I got a question for you. What do you think about Bennifer 2?
What in the world is that?
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are back together again.
That is not surprising to me.
Yeah. They're out and about.
What do you think about it? It feels like Ben Affleck is exactly what I thought Ben Affleck was. I think he...
What is he? Is he a bad guy?
I mean, usually when you're not with somebody anymore, there's a reason. And if you go back to them, because you're silly. I don't
That's
know.
true. Do you believe in second chances? Do you believe that that's just going to exacerbate the original problems that they probably had? Or do you think people can mature?
People can definitely grow and mature, for sure. But a lot of times, people think that it's going to be different when they don't change any actual things. And then think it's going to be magically different when they didn't change anything.
Yeah, I don't know the circumstances of their original breakup. Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
But then she got married, had kids. He got married, had kids. Now they're maybe trying to relive nostalgia. But
yeah, you think it's gonna last?
I feel like if he was capable of making it last, he could have made it last with his wife that he has kids with. Maybe. That's just the thought.
Do you think that everybody can make it last with everybody?
I mean, if you don't sleep with the nanny, then yeah, probably.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess
That's the wrong word. I've been married for almost 14 years. So
Congratulations,
I
that's
think we should
actually
stay
pretty.
together. So we don't have to be nanny.
Well, I think that's true. that is the circumstances which that is grounds for divorce, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Robin Williams did. Robin Williams ran off with his nanny, which is listen, ladies and gentlemen. Loyalty is important. I think it's the value of mine, anyway.
As we know from like watching the rest of how poor Robin Williams' life played out, like I don't think he's like evil and terrible, or neither is Ben Affleck for like cheating on his wife, but they're obviously seeking to find external, ways of feeling like valued and love or happiness, So if you, as I've learned, is that, trying to start fresh and find happiness is never going to work if you're not already changing stuff like inside of you, So,
that's true. You have to be the things.
Like Ben Affleck's trying to look for another way of, but I don't know him personally. I'm just saying. A lot of people, whether they're famous or not, tend to look for the next shiny person or thing that's going to make them happy,
That's true. The grass is always greener, is what I say. Also, because listen, if you have problems in one relationship, and then you decide to jump out of that relationship into another one, the grass is always greener. If you don't work on the situation that probably dissolved your previous relationships, you probably are going to just end up in that same situation again. So, yeah.
Even if 100% blame is on the person, then there's something about you that's attracted to people that treat you bad that you got to work on,
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that the question I have was, do you think that any two people can work it out, or could two people work it out more so than another set of two people? Because you said that because he could. I think it might have just been a joke when you said Ben Affleck couldn't work it out with his wife, so he's probably not going to work it out with Jennifer. But do you think that
he had just thinking about it objectively, like something was going on with him, right, and he wasn't happy, or for some reason this nanny was enticing to him, and instead of working on it with his wife, he went to a nanny. You know what I mean? So if it comes to hard things again, unless he's done a lot of therapy, then I feel like he would just do the same thing again. Do I think two people can be together forever? I think so, but you have to be emotionally mature and working on your own stuff individually. Like, you can't have this one person works on their stuff and the other one doesn't,
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like a lot of times, loving somebody and being in a healthy relationship isn't enough if you aren't a whole person yourself,
I know about it. But for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that, Jennifer, if they had whatever problems they had the first time, hopefully they worked on themselves enough to have overcome those problems. Maybe enough time has passed, because it's been 15, 20 years or something since they first were together. And so...
Because even if Jennifer was a nightmare, I mean, worst case scenario, she's a nightmare, then if he's a good person, then he would make sure that they end things in a nice, peaceful way for their children's sake, and then, when a mature amount of time has passed, start into the relationship, It just shows a lack of maturity to be like, you know what? This is really hard. I'm going to go take the nanny to bed,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's just not the way to maturely handle a situation. You should probably, like you said, work it out with your partner with communication, and it's interesting because Studio 88 said loyalty to the nanny. Yeah, maybe the modern day Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Yeah, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton got married twice. Some people get married 2 times to each other. I actually know of a case where my singer, his mother, Linda Lear, she is an author. You can Google her, Linda Lear. She was married to John. So here's the thing. My singer's parents were married, and then they got a divorce. I don't know if this is. I mean, this is a matter of public information. Let's say someone I know, his parents got married, and then they got a divorce, and then his dad had like a whole family and a whole thing for like 20 years. And then they got back together, and then they were married, and I think they're still married to this day. And they had my friend. No, he's not my friend. Lest you be confused, he's not my friend. But there's reasons for that. See? Yeah. If he was like, hey, you want to get back together and play a show? I'd say, no, thanks. So, it would be the same. It's a similar situation, I suppose. Getting the same issues would arise, I'm sure. The same. I think it's also combinations of people. I think it's like types of personalities that get together and are not helpful to one another. Sounds like the plot is so complicated. What were you gonna say?
Oh, what was this gonna ask for an example? For personality types.
I mean, like
disorders or personality types.
Well, I've been doing a lot of research on this. So let's say there's people who avoid conflict, right? They don't like to. They avoid conflict, so they're avoidant. They're fearful, and they're avoidant. They don't want to confront. They don't want to deal with. And let's say there's other people who are they're called anxious, preoccupied. It's this attachment style theory. So there's people who are constantly thinking, how, like thinking about the other one, maybe like what are they up to, because they're avoiding them. So it's like there are people who avoid conflict and there's people who want to resolve conflict, and like together they don't work because one will keep running and the other one will be like, we need to fix this. So it's like those two combinations of people, I think, are oftentimes in weird cyclical patterns. However, I do think that communication is the key to solving those types of things. We're talking about relationship advice here on Aristotle Full Throttle. If you guys if you are a caller and you have a question for me or JennTheFierce about your relationship, let us know. It's suddenly become
along with that, I think like what I said before of like, if you start to realize that's your personality type and that you keep getting attracted to people who want to run away, then that's something to like look into.
Yes.
Like what's going on with me that I keep going after that instead of someone who would also be hyper fixated on me as well back.
Exactly.
Why am I not attracted to someone who also cares that much about me? Why am I attracted to someone who runs away?
Right. That's the two to tango situation.
I'm looking at you, so.
It's the two to tango and cash situation, I think they call it. It's just both people end up in a similar situation because I think some people like. Yeah, if you end up in that situation. I was watching this thing and they were saying how like the people who people who, like you said, why aren't they in a relationship where the other person is equally into them? Because they would find that boring. It turns out. I'm talking hypothetically.
But hypothetically, yes, they would find that boring because they need that validation of like, there's some sort of sick like, oh, they must be really special if they don't like me. You know what I mean? Like there's some sort of sick like toxic thing going on there where like I'm used to being rejected, so this feels good in a bad way.
I think, yeah. Well, it's like, listen to this. Maybe it's like this. I'm glad we're talking about this. Let's say, you're used to people. It's like let's say this person is used to people being like, hey, cool, great. But then there's someone who's like, meh. Then that person would be like, how come I'm meh? Why am I meh? So then they get maybe perhaps fixated on that and try to fix it. Both of my last two relationships were toxic and I was cheated on or played games with, and it made me really question my self-worth. I'm Uncle Ron. Let me tell you something. You're valuable. You're worth it. And it's them not you in that situation. You know, if you're questioning your self-worth, it was because they were devaluing you in their mind, which probably rubbed off on you. But in their mind, they might have been trying to devalue you or the relationship because they didn't want to be in it for some reason or another. And they blew it up. They decided to blow it up. I'm just guessing. Anyway.
So you were saying the last two relationships were similar to that? You were saying, or something about your last relationship? You were saying your last two, or you were just reading what he said. I got confused about if you're talking about yourself or you were just reading the comment. Okay.
I was reading Ron's comment.
Confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see, that's what happens. People, when they don't know how to handle a situation, they try to devalue the other person to make a story in their mind that's a good reason to not like somebody. Unless there was an abuse involved or something like that. You know, I think it's interesting how people behave. I find it very interesting. I'm really interested in how people communicate and behave. It's hey Ron.
Hey, I figure it's best if I explain it this way than try and type it all out.
What's that?
So I should have known something was up with the first one, because she was a teacher and she didn't want her face all over social media, which I understood. But she would never even let us take pictures together, and she never wanted to go out and hang out with mutual friends or anything like that.
Right.
And then we would only just go back to her house. We'd get food from this deli in town, and we'd go back to her house and do things I can't mention on a PG stream, and then that was it. And PG-13. You know how when you're well, either way, it's even then. So now let me ask you this: if you are in a relationship with someone and they want you to watch their cat while they go out of town to go see the Backstreet Boys at a convention in Nashville,
Ron,
right, and what?
This is all just go on.
Okay, it only gets better. All right, and I didn't have a car at the time because my exhaust had fallen off of it. And so she's like, well, here's $100, take an Uber to and from my house for the 3 days I'm gone, and watch the cat and get yourself some food and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I had and I can say this now, but I had my friend's mom who drove Uber take me over there for $5 a ride instead of what it would normally have cost. So I had all this extra money. And then she comes back asking for change. It's like, if you're with somebody, you don't ask for the change. You just expect them to do something for you later on.
Yeah, like here's the thing especially for favors and stuff like that, or loans or lending things. You know, I've always learned if you lend something to someone, don't ever expect it back. Also, if you do something nice for someone, do it because you want to do that, not because you're expecting anything in return. Yeah. That is. So it's I agree with that.
And then as things go on, she's like, well, you know, and then she even said she loved me, which was even more. She didn't have to say that. And you know, then I get a phone call, not even face to face, just a phone call saying, oh, well, you know, my therapist says I should be single for a while. Like, oh, so your therapist is dictating how you should live your relationships then. That's great. And so, you know, we end things, and I'm sorry I'm all on your time here, Jen. I didn't mean to, but, she's not responding, so I upset her.
No,
I don't think you upset her.
I was just waiting for you. I didn't want to interrupt. I had my mic.
We're just
listening.
listening.
Oh, okay. So then she, here's the best part. She's like, I can't see, you know, I shouldn't be seeing anybody because I'm, you know, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. Yeah, but we can still be friends, which is the greatest thing to ever hear. And then, about 2 weeks later, she's with some other guy in Paisley Park, and she always told me, well, I can't really go on, out of town with people unless I trust them. And she had never mentioned this guy whatsoever, so it's like, oh, so you were dipping out or stepping out or whatever the kids say, I don't know. And then, you know, you go and you're with this guy, and then they have a kid together and they get married, and I'm just like, I hope you get diarrhea.
Well, maybe
Again, PG-13 stream. I can't say what I really said.
Well, I understand that you are the one who was jilted in this scenario, and that's a very sad and painful thing. But on the other hand, you say you hope they get diarrhea. Well, maybe they are in a better situation, and maybe perhaps you are in a better situation because of that. See?
Well, no, because then I started seeing somebody else who, whenever we would I would set up plans to do something, because I'm a very plan-oriented person. Jen will attest to this. Whenever I want to play video games, like, hey, I'm playing at this time. You want to, I'm very plan-oriented, and she claims to be very spur of the moment. But then, I took off work a couple hours early so we could go somewhere, and then she never even calls me back. And I texted her, hey, what's going on? And nothing. And she keeps doing this, saying that, this, that, and the other thing. It's just like...
Well, if you're just tuning in, this is Loveline. We're talking with I'm Uncle Ron. And
the worst part, real quick, though, the worst part of it is how she just signed, and Jen knows this story, kind of, part of it, not all of it. She, texts me to tell me about how she just signed on for her new house and all this other kind of stuff, when I'm having a really hard time with mine right now. It's like she's rubbing it in, and it's just a giant mess. And did I ever tell you, Jen, that who I asked to co-sign?
Nope.
Oh, I was gonna ask my dad.
I assumed so.
And you want to know what his response was? I don't care if you're
assume
homeless.
Oh, well, that's not a
very bad relationship right there.
That seems like a...
So...
Well,
I let a lot of people walk over me is the big thing.
Well, you know what? It's about boundaries for sure. Also, it's important to say to look at that situation and say, you know what? If you have the wherewithal, if you have the strength, you can ignore those texts from your ex. You can, if it's...
Oh yeah, no, she had to go out to, and that's another thing, is I had the what do you call it? I can't think. The petition to get me on Sirius. And right away she gets a hold of me because she works for them, and she's one of the people that you'd have to go through to get there. And she says, well, I can't help you with this at all, because you'd have to go through me, and we can't have relationships with people that we are dealing with or whatever. And I'm just like, well, nobody knows that we're in one because you won't let me tell anybody. It's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Well, that's a good sign to be like,
bye.
Yes. So it's important. If they're unsure about you, you can't spend too much more time on it. This is what I'm learning. This is something important. If someone's like, life is too short. I saw this meme. My friend sent it to me. If someone's unsure about you, and you're sure about them, you gotta take a moment and reassess and say, okay, well, I can't be spending all this time with someone who's trying to figure me out, figure out if I'm right for them, or they're right for me, or whatever. So it's really a matter of, it's boundaries. It's like, how much can you? And it's tough. It's very tough. But in the end, I think it is for the best if you understand what your boundaries are, and that, I don't feel like, if you feel value and someone's devaluing you and not showing you that, showing you value, it's not important. It's important to walk away from that situation. It's hard.
Single, ladies.
Yeah. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Ron is single. I've been
what's your thoughts on
fumpering.
this, Jen, because she seemed to want to say something.
What?
You seemed like you wanted to say something.
What made you think I wanted to say something?
If you just tuned in, we're talking with JennTheFierce. on AFT. I'm Uncle Ron had a very heartfelt story that he told us about his former relationships, and I feel for you, Ron. I think that it's important, though, to recognize your own self-worth and realize that if people aren't going to give you the respect that you deserve. But again, it starts with learning how to. I believe Justin Bieber wrote a song about loving yourself. You can go and love yourself.
I'd hear that. I never thought I'd
Justin
hear
Bieber and Ed Sheeran. It's a good song. It's a great song, actually. But yeah, it's about starting. It's about that. It's about respecting yourself and your own time, and building the type of life that you want to attract. Be the person you want to attract. But can't just. This is a funny thing, Jen. You might know people like this. They're like, I want a partner who's XYZ, this height, has this kind of job, does this and that, and they have this whole list of what they think their potential partner should be, and like maybe they don't even do any of those things. They just request that upon someone else. You ever notice that? Like they don't do those things themselves, and I think that what attracts other people is
I don't really hang out with people that have long lists like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just saying maybe in passing.
Yeah. I know that I personally and people that I know have lists of like maybe have gone to therapy, maybe aren't misogynistic, are feminists, are treat human beings with that are different, like people who are different abilities, different races, different genders, with equality. I feel like that's most people that I know.
Yeah,
that's more important to them than like height, salary, size of their muscles.
Can you introduce me to some of those people?
I'm sure you probably know a lot of them. Miss Pesto, Miss Ange, Alita,
Well, Pesto is like
pretty smart people with some good stuff.
Never thought about Pesto that way.
She's engaged. But I'm not going to introduce you to me. I'm taken.
Well,
and a lot of the girls, and also I'm getting up there in age, so most of the women I know, they knew that
I'm 42. That doesn't bother me.
I'm just saying. No, listen. I'm saying as far as we knew that, and so we planned our lives accordingly, and we're taken, That's what I mean.
Yeah. See, why is
there you go.
Like,
people who are single your age still hadn't figured that out, and that's why they're not married.
Well, see, now that hurts because it's like, I mean, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life.
I'm just saying, I don't know a lot of single girls. Most of my friends are married, and
I took care of my mom for 20 years. A lot of women didn't like that.
I'm not talking about you personally. I'm just saying you asked me, and I don't.
I'm just I'm a spectator at this. You Ange, we're watching this go down. We're listening to this conversation. I have no comment. I have no comment on this.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
If marriage is your goal, then I could see that being something that you
just want to date. There's plenty of apps for that. So
yeah, there's an app for that. We learned. Women apparently hit the wall after 25, so I plead the fifth. Oh, Jen. I mean, Ange. I don't think so. I don't think that at all. But I know that Hollywood thinks that. Hollywood thinks, I made a joke on my show a couple years ago where Hollywood, if you're 35 and older and you're a woman, Hollywood considers you may as well be dead. That was my joke. Because as a woman in Hollywood, it's way more challenging. Let me tell you this. I've been to many auditions. And I forget, because I'm a guy, I forget that there's a lot of pressure, a lot more pressure on women, especially in this field, until I go to an audition where there's a bunch of women and men mixed together because we're supposed to play like husband and wife or something like that, parents. And the vibe, the energy, the pressure that I can intuit, that I can I can feel the pressure that women feel Not as much, not the intensity. I have an idea of how much harder it must be. Only an idea. Because I'm standing there going, oh, whatever, I'll just go in here for this McDonald's commercial and eat a piece of bread and then walk out. But no, that's my attitude. Because I feel like, I've had it pretty good in that area. But from what I have seen, it is, it's like, I can't describe it. I could just tell you that this industry is not kind to women in particular. So, yeah, I mean, that's just from firsthand experience, secondhand, really. But it's kind of crazy. Really is. I don't know if I have any examples. I think a friend of mine, I ran into her at an audition. She like dyed her hair, changed her whole look for the audition. It's just, I don't even brush my hair. I'm not even joking. You can't brush this hair.
It'd be hard to tell if you didn't brush the hair, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's no way to tell. It's just I feel like what I've been doing with my hair in particular is like I'm cutting all like the little loose ends, and it's getting denser. It's getting way more dense. I have a helmet on. It's like a Spaceballs helmet. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Do you even own a brush? What would I do with the brush? I own 2 combs and lots of teeth are missing from those combs. It's hard.
Well, I mean, with that hair and everything, you got to stop looking so white.
That's true. Thank you, Cyndi Lauper. You're fired.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
It's even worse when your doctor keeps repeating phrases like, for a woman your age, at the age you are now, for women over 35, it's difficult. And I'm like, sheesh. Curly hair people don't own brushes. That's true. We got like a wide tooth comb, and it's very difficult. You gotta brush it, comb it while it's wet. But yeah. What were we talking about, Jen? I think we were talking about Bennifer. And then we got into relationships.
What's your thoughts on Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez?
I don't know. I'm waiting for it to blow up. I gotta say I'm skeptical. I don't think that. I think if you break up once, there's a reason for it, and it's hard to. I can't think of anybody like I think one time I got back together with somebody after a couple years, and then we got back together, but it was like for 4 months, and then it just kind of like it was like, oh yeah, these are.
It's funny though. It's funny though because Ben Affleck was on Howard Stern and he did like almost a 3-hour interview with him, and Jennifer Lopez never came up once. Back in the day, that would have been like the first thing they asked.
She probably requested that they don't talk about her. So he respected that, I suppose. Howard has grown. Howard is a good interviewer, and he's an interesting. He gets interesting nuggets out of people. I say every situation is different. That's true. Studio 8H, I totally agree with you. Everybody is different, and every combination of people is different. Every relationship is different. I think people go into relationships assuming how it's going to be. Because there's like a playbook or something, or that people learn, I suppose. But there isn't. It's just about whatever happens between those people in that relationship. However many. So it's like, you gotta communicate. You gotta say, okay, this is what you're comfortable with. This is what you're not comfortable with. This is my boundary. That's my boundary. These are my values. What are your values? And hopefully you can get on the same page for periods, and reassess every now and then, which is, I think, the basis for all, because everybody is different, just like Studio 8H says. Every situation is different, and they change. Things evolve. People want different things after different certain periods. People end up, like I could want to become an astronaut next year. Who knows? Maybe suddenly I get struck that I need to go to Mars. So then, if I was in a relationship, what would I do? You want to move to Mars with me? I'm just saying.
Yes.
People have to be individuals. Well, thanks, Ron. It would be me, you, and Dr. Manhattan. All hanging out.
I bet you he could astroturf Mars, though.
He could. He could make it bouncy. It'd be
Impressive.
Very.
Most impressive.
Jen, what do you have to say to that?
Mars sounds good. I have a date to play Fortnite with Killa Kitty at 10, so I'm gonna get going. But thank you
All
for
right.
having me on the show again. And
Well,
have a
thanks,
good
Jen,
night, guys.
for chatting. We learned all about everything. Thank you, JennTheFierce. Thank you. And have a wonderful Fortnite. Good Fortnite to you. Yes, a 14 night thing. Well, I think we've it's interesting. It's interesting talking about relationships, you know?
Yeah.
As a single guy myself, yeah, what do I know? I'll tell you, I don't know much. But
It's a trap.
That's what I think. I think every time a relationship comes up,
It's a trap.
Personally,
the only person that can love you the most is yourself. Take that however you want.
That is true. You can go and love yourself, said Justin Bieber. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, I'm Uncle Ron,
And the guy
for
on Pornhub.
Do what you need to do. Everybody, be who you're gonna be. Do what you need to do. Listen, it starts with you. You gotta be doing things by your own self. You gotta do good by you. You can't expect someone else to fill your needs for you. You've got to figure out how to make all those needs met on your own and be your own person. And that way, the right person will come into your life. Or, no, the right people, like right friends, family. Well, I guess your family's there no matter what, for better or for worse.
Is there several?
You gotta tear me apart, Lisa!
This is a direct quote from 2 relationships ago.
You gotta tear me apart, Lisa!
Well, thanks for the Studio 88. We're trying not to be laggy, and thank you for joining us for this conversation. It was an interesting conversation. It's really, we touched upon some really important things. I think that sometimes people need to hear that. If you get dumped, let's say you get dumped, right? Let's say I was dumped. It's not about me. It's about it's got to be the right combination. Some people, if they're devaluing you, it's not you, it's them. Ron, you hear that?
I heard it. I don't believe it, but I heard it.
Well, you gotta believe it. You gotta know it, because that's true. It's if someone's gonna devalue you, it might be because they don't understand how to value themselves either, and then they're uncomfortable with showing that. You know what I mean? They're uncomfortable with themselves. That's why they don't know what they want. So they make it about you, but it's not about you. You see what I'm saying?
About Dre, and they forget about Dre.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and MFers act like they forgot about Dre. Dre said, "F rap, you could have it back." That's the message for today. F rap, you could have it back.
That is so fetch.
That's a bingo.
We did it. We solved every relationship problem.
Yeah, right? Actually, it's just bango.
That is a great line, for sure. Well, bingo, bango, bongo, bing bong. Good night, everybody. Good night, Uncle Ron. Good night, Edge, Studio 88, Wesley, everybody who was here. I'll see you tomorrow when we watch the book of The Mandalorian, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a good time. It's always a good time. We chat, we watch, we hang, we chat, we watch, we hang. Good night, everybody.